Congressional District on the Republican, Conservative, and Common Sense line, right?
Evening, everyone. Yep. I'm a grandfather, I can wait. All right, so yes, I'm Paul King. I'm running for Congress in the 5th Congressional District. That is... Thank you.
Gregory Meeks gotta go. Gregory Meeks gotta go. Gregory Meeks gotta go.
So that starts on the Queens side of the UBS Arena, cuts across Jamaica Estates to Forest Park, then everything down to the ocean, down to Rockaway where I live. And yes, I'm running against Gregory Meeks. Now, I usually don't say much about Congressman Meeks, but I think you should know a little bit about the guy who's been in Congress for going on 26 years. He's represented my part of the district for more than a dozen years. I'm a community leader. I have met him in my job in civics twice. I asked him to throw out a first pitch at a Rockaway Little League game about 12 years ago. And then last year, for the first time ever, he called a civic meeting. He wanted to talk about the migrant camps, because he's got the most migrant camps in his district, if any place in the world. And, or, illegal immigrant camps was a better way of putting it. And he was trying to, make sure that didn't stick to him, even though he was head of the Foreign Affairs Committee when the problem went through the roof. And it's in his whole career. He's been there, again, 26 years. He has passed 7 bills that he's been sponsor of, so about one every 4 years. But it's actually much worse than that. If you take out the commemoratives, the bridges that got renamed, the post offices, and the one bill that just has his name on it because he was a committee chairman once, that leaves one bill. One bill in 26 years. And it's not just a problem of quantity, it's quality. He votes with Joe Biden 100% of the time. He is an open border Democrat. He's brought this migrant problem to my neighborhood. Just last week, someone was robbing bikes and things while people were on the beach in Rockaway. Guys from Ecuador, living in a shelter in Jamaica. You walk through the DA's office, you think they would kick out someone like that, but he's still here. And that's what we've been getting with Gregory Meeks as our representative. And you say, well, how does he keep getting reelected? Well, he's got the Floyd Flake machine behind him. There's 8 Democrats for every Republican in my district. It's a tough race. So people can rightly ask, well, will it be different this year? And I can tell you, it is different. When I go and speak to the Guyanese community, the Bengali community, all the different immigrant communities, but also in the African-American communities, people who've been here for generations, whether they're struggling or whether they're in the middle-class neighborhoods, they are all sick and tired. They're tired of the high prices. They're tired of having migrant camps dumped in their neighborhoods. They're tired of the Democrats doing what they're doing in Albany, undermining morality, undermining parents, undermining their values. And they're open to change, and this year we're going to do that. This victory that we're going to pull off in New York 5 is going to be seismic. We're going to take out the head of the Democratic Party, and we're going to put to rest, we're going to crush the myth that so-called people of color don't vote for Republicans.
Yeah.
I guarantee I'll be famous for at least 2 weeks. But in my time going around, every community, I talk to them individually, hear what their needs are, their concerns are. It's often a lot of it varies, but there are 5 key themes. And I'm putting those together. Next week I'm rolling out something I'm calling the Contract with Southeast Queens. And but because I'm in the legendary Queens Village Republican Club tonight, y'all getting a preview. 5 principles, 5 promises. Number 1, Americans over illegal immigrants. The Democrats like to say we're against immigrants. You know who doesn't believe that? Legal immigrants. You ask them. Go into any community, whether they're from Asia, South Asia, any Hispanic countries, they're ticked off that people are getting kicked ahead of line. They're illegal. Well, we're going to fix that in 2 ways, working with President Trump. One is, we'll get these camps closed, but the key to that is fixing the darn border once and for all. We'll get it done. Cut off the flood, then you can solve the problem. As long as it's wide open under Biden or Harris, we'll be swamped. Cut off the flood, we can solve the problem, and we will. Item two affects everyone. You got to reduce the cost of living. You know, that is the most number one pain point everywhere I go in Queens. Yeah, everything is too expensive. You get so many fewer groceries. It's harder to feed your family if you're working class, if you're on a fixed income. And Biden broke this and Meeks' help. They like to spend money. They spend our great-grandchildren's money. They're not even born yet. They borrow all this money. They devalue our dollars in our pocket. And then they drive up the cost of energy. Again, that's something I could work with President Trump to fix pretty quickly. Get spending under control and lower the cost of energy by freeing up American energy. We'll all feel that in our wallets, and we'll feel it quickly. Item number 3, everyone's American dream. It's supposed to be the land of opportunity for everyone, at least everyone who comes here legally. I'm a problem solver in my professional life. I see what's broken in education, in access to capital, in access to homes, in access to jobs. I'll work with the Republican majority and put programs out there that solve this problem for everyone. We don't need to give money to people and just say for the heck of it, to be like, oh, life's giving you a bad break. We need to give them what we always used to talk about under Reagan. We need to give them a hand up and a fair shot. We will fix the American dream. We'll fix the land of opportunity. And I tell you, Queens is the gateway to the land of opportunity. You know, that's what, the immigrants come here for the chance. They're going to get a fair chance if they came here legally. Item 4, which is just huge because it ties to this Prop 1 nonsense, is protecting parents' rights. Every parent is scared to death of the thought of, I could send my kid to school and they can get a medical procedure, they can get a vaccine. They're making medical and educational decisions without telling the parents. That is fundamentally wrong. It's fundamentally un-American. And we're going to stand up for parents' rights from soup to nuts and give them more choices in education so their kids can get a better education.
Vote no for Sister 1.
And how am I doing time-wise?
A little bit more. We'll have questions at the end.
Okay.
You can stay, right? You can stay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not racing off. I'm not talking about anybody else. I got to tell you, we must defeat Proposition 1, but it's gold for us too, because the proposition's poison. And when you explain it to people, not just to Republicans, but it helps us get our turnout, you explain it to common sense Democrats, anyone who's got a kid. Parents, Democrats, independents, it makes them want to vote, and it makes them want to vote the right way. So we've got to educate people. It's a Trojan horse, but if we educate them, this is going to be a huge asset for us to sweep and win from top to bottom. But item 5 on my contract is bring back safe streets. I don't think I have to explain that to anyone. People like Gatan, people like Dwayne, they're going to go to Albany and fix what's broken in Albany. I'll work with President Trump to do what the federal government's done in the past. Fund massive hiring and training of new cops. We need to get the New York City police force back from 30,000 closer to 40,000. Let them do their jobs, keep us safe, and we'll do the rest. So I ask you to help me get this message out. It's working great everywhere because this is common sense. It's not rocket science. This is what we all believe. This is what normal people believe. So whether it's lawn signs, but we need great turnout. Tim was talking about knocking on doors. I'd love help. My district's even way bigger. You can stay home and make phone calls. If you can do that, we can reach tons of people. We'll get them out. We'll win this election. And I look forward to getting your help. And I thank all of you in this club for being here and being patriotic Americans.
Thank you, Paul. We're going to have questions after all the candidates speak, because we